Peace to everyone. In the light of everything that's going on right now with the End SARS movement and the police brutality going on in Nigeria, I just wanted to share something that I noticed a lot of Nigerians and Nigerians all over the diaspora are doing. If you notice, a lot of people are tagging organizations like CNN, BBC, and the UN. And what you have to realize is these people don't care. They prosper off of our ignorance. Here's what I mean. A lot of these organizations have superiors who are tied to these same politicians that we're complaining about. So in this kind of situation, when you tag them or when you're asking them for help, all you're doing is giving them a show. All they're going to do in return is use us for ratings. They're going to use us for views, and they're going to use us to be able to point. They're going to use as an example to point about how Africans can't help themselves. Africans need outside help. Africans are uncivilized. Africans can't even protest properly without bloodshed and so on. That's all they're going to do, right? These people they prosper off of our ignorance. You have to remember, Nigeria did not win its independence nor fight for its independence. Nigeria was given its independence. There's two ways you can get your independence. One, through bloodshed, which is true independence. Two, they give you your independence. But when they give you your independence, there are rules and regulations. There's things that you have to sign. Example, Nigeria's first language is English because one of the rules is you must speak the language, or the first language of your country must be that of your colonizers. Our curriculum was also done by the British, which is why a lot of Nigerians know more about the Holocaust and Hitler versus people like Leopold and the slavery that was going on next door in the backyard. They didn't teach you about the slavery, but they taught you about how other people were being murdered by the thousands, right? 3, a percentage of your country's resources must go to British companies, which is why if you look at all of the oil and a lot of the resources like the cocoa and so on that goes on in Nigeria, the companies that export them, those companies are either British or owned by British, or the higher ups in those companies are British or British people or English people, however you want to call them, right? So this is something that has been going on for decades. So they prosper off of it. So you have the older people that are in office in Nigeria. They're corrupted. They're getting bribed by these people, right? So you're complaining to people that you think are going to help you, but they're really not going to do that because they want things to continue the way they are. If the youth is to come into power, or people that have senses to come into power, the first thing we're going to do is try to create everything from Africa by Africa and support ourselves, which means we're going to cost people billions and eventually trillions of dollars. They don't want things like that to happen, right? So we have to we have to think deeply and understand that corruption is very, very, very deep. Ever since our post-independence, things have kind of like been in the same cycle. If you look at this is the same thing that the French did to all of its colonies in Africa, right? A percentage of the money that those French colonies have must be stored in a French bank in France, which also helps them gain wealth, interest, and so on. And you can only get about 25% of that money. And if you want more than that 25%, they're going to charge you for more of your own money that's being stored there. Another thing that they do is a percentage of the military must be trained in France. This is how they brainstorm them. This is how they indoctrinate them. This is how they program them. They send them back to the African colonies 10, 20 years later. This is how coups happen. This is how riots happen. Because then if a leader gets there and is like, okay, you know what? I don't like the way things are going. Let's change things around. Let's support our own. Let's get rid of all these contracts by the colonizers and so on. Then they get rid of those people. This is how people get assassinated. People like Patrice Lumumba and so on, right? This is how it happens. So we look at how sad it is. We're right there in Nigeria. We've got Ghana next door, right? Togo next door, Liberia next door, Senegal next door. We're not asking them for help, but we're reaching thousands of miles away to ask the same people that colonized you for help. You know what I'm saying? So we have to be able to help ourselves. This is what's happening right now. People are dying on both sides, and it has to happen. In order for you to be liberated, there has to be bloodshed. I'm not trying to be trying to dismiss what's going on or downplay it. That's not what I'm doing, but you have to have the heart for it. Other than that, you end up in a situation where somebody will write a bunch of things, try to attempt like they're giving you what they want, but in the back end, there's still a whole bunch of corruption, and they're really not giving you what you want. You know what I mean? So this is really what's going on. You have to be able to stomach it. The fight must go on. People need to start studying history, because the history will help you to understand your past and eventually predict the future. Peace.